Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Crypto Update for Monday, the 14th of June. I've just arrived back into the UK after a long trip from Bali, Indonesia. I'm in my quarantine right now, so I'm here working on videos. And today's update has got loads of really cool things for us to discuss, including Elon Musk being back at it again, and of course, Bitcoin back above $40,000. Before we get started, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. That would really help me out, be much appreciated. And without much further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, first up, we've got the giveaways from last week. Here are the 10 winners. Congratulations to you guys. I'll be sending you out 0.1 BNB and sending you an email to get your address. So make sure you reply to those emails and watch out for my email coming to you. This week's giveaway, the secret word for this week is EVI. And the reason why the secret word for this week is called EVI is because I've partnered with their platform, evi.io. And I'm going to do a whole video on that later in the week, maybe next week. But for now, we're just going to use it instead of CoinMarketCap. Now, EVI is basically CoinMarketCap on steroids. It's got all of the market caps, the volumes, circulating supplies, 24-hour, 7-day prices, the charts, but it has an AI-driven rating system, which is incredible. It uses 9 different factors to basically work out a rating on each crypto asset. Now, they're adding thousands and thousands of assets. They plan to have over 3,000 on there when they're totally finished. And it's just a really great platform to use. So let's have a look by market cap, what's going on this week. Okay, so right is the big news is Bitcoin back above 40,000, actually almost hitting 41,000. So are we back in a bull market? Is the mini bear market over? What's your position? Have you been buying Bitcoin, or do you just think this is one of those kind of longer term dead cat bounces? I don't know. I'm obviously very happy it's back above. I did sell a lot of Bitcoin below 40,000. I wanted to readjust my portfolio. I thought the exposure was too much. And I think the time right now, it's just not right to have 40% of your assets in crypto. You've got to have basically balls of steel to do that. And I just didn't think it was the right moment. So I reduced by about half. I actually did a video saying I sold 75%, but I sold about 50, depending on the value. I sold quite a bit of it, but not all of it. I still got about $1.5 million of crypto. So I'm very happy that's going up, but it's kind of given me that, oh, God, I shouldn't have sold it. But you can't always be right. And you don't go broke making a profit. So that's basically what you've got to remember. Not get sleepless nights over, you should have bought, should have sold, and don't FOMO back into it. Okay, so the big movers and the big story this week is obviously Bitcoin over 7 days is the only, apart from Theta, is the only top 20 coin to be up over 7 days. It was incredible. You're seeing a lot of these coins move back into, or these holders, investors move back into Bitcoin. That's because Bitcoin has this single use case that is very, very clear. And obviously you've got all of these countries starting to come in. We're going to talk more about it actually in a later video, and later in the video about Cuba. And obviously El Salvador adopting it and making it legal tender. There's a lot of good news. And if you'd said this 10 years ago when they launched Bitcoin, that a country would make it legal tender, you would be like, oh my God, that's going to be crazy. But it's actually happening now. This is real world life. Right, let's have a look at some of the big movers this week or today. Today we've had 1inch, Thorchain, StormX all do big double-digit gains. Engine, which is one of my favorite tokens, up 20% today. I did a video on that one where we looked at the core company and how they had many, many gamers using their platform before they even launched their crypto. And it basically meant they had just this great core user base to get involved in their project. And I really like what they're doing with NFTs and being able to kind of move your NFTs between different games and different operating systems. It's just a great platform to be involved in. So I'm very bullish on Engine long term. I definitely recommend you check them out. Now let's have a look at the 7-day movers, the big movers. The big one is AMP. Now that's seen 50% growth over the last 7 days. It's got an EVI rating of B2, which is one of the highest on the platforms, but it's not at its all-time high yet. Is it going to hit its all-time high in the next few days? You guys are going to have to do some chart analysis for me because I'm not a chart guy. I don't do charts. I do sentiment and I basically do swing trading. So I spend 4 or 5 days in a coin and then move something to else, looking at past and previous histories to trying to guess what might happen in the future. That's how kind of I work. I don't do all of these descending wedge triangles that might break out with a dinosaur leg on it and a whatever. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm more into the sentiment and into the long-term view of whether a project's going to work and whether that coin is going to provide value to people that are using it. But AMP is doing very well. I do suggest you check that out. And Evi is saying it's a good coin to look at. B2, one of the highest rating on the platform at the moment. Current ratings, the highest is Celsius. Now, obviously, Celsius is a lending platform. I've already talked about those. They're similar to Nexo and similar to BlockFi. Definitely recommend you go check that out. And obviously, Cardano is sitting there as one of the top 5 rated coins, and obviously have a big bag of Cardano because I do love what's going to happen. I think that once they start launching real world projects on Cardano, there's going to be a big supply shock, and that price of the token is going to go huge. Right, let's get into the news. Elon Musk at it again. Only last week he posted this. I know I said it would be over between us if he quoted another Linkin Park song, but I found someone else. So in the end, it doesn't even matter. No, I'm not going to sing. Forget that. Okay, cut that. Crap the video. But Elon Musk, he's back at it again. Now, do you think he is a crazy, narcissistical megalomaniac that just wants to see whether he can move markets with his tweets? I think there's a little bit of that. But actually what I think he's doing is he's basically fulfilling the mandate of Tesla. He is pushing Bitcoin to become or use clean energy by buying into it, getting the hype there, and then saying, right, we're not going to use it till you got clean. It's basically driving incentive to get clean energy adoption for Bitcoin. He confirmed Tesla didn't sell any Bitcoin. They sold 10% to test its liquidity, but they didn't actually sell all of their Bitcoin, only 10%. And basically said when there's confirmation of reasonable, that's over 50%, clean energy usage by miners with positive future trend, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions. Now that is great for the industry. Long-term, Bitcoin needs to use clean energy. Long-term, the whole world needs to use clean energy. And I think Bitcoin is actually surprisingly going to help drive research and development and drive the need for getting this unlimited clean energy. And I think Elon Musk, there is method to his madness. Right, let's have a look, talk about Cuba. Now, Cuba is obviously a South American country. It's a little dodgy, it's very beautiful. I've never been there, but I've heard it's very beautiful. It's got a rich history, but there's obviously a lot of drugs, there's a lot of dodgy stuff going on, and the US is constantly putting embargoes on them. Now, the government have come out and said enough is enough, and they've banned USD deposits. And they told tourists to arrive with a currency other than a dollar. So what do you think that means? What do you think is going to happen next? For me, it's quite obvious. They've already got El Salvador. They've already got Paraguay saying, right, we're going to start using Bitcoin. El Salvador's actually made it legal currency, legal tender already. Cuba's next. So the way I see it is that all of these countries are going to start coming together. They're all going to start using Bitcoin. And US is going to be the last to make it legal tender. They're going to be the last to adopt it. And it's going to be a fatal mistake. If I was the US, I wouldn't be fighting Bitcoin. I would be adopting it and taking advantage of it and being a leader in Bitcoin. And that's going to help them stay on top of things, because otherwise they're going to get absolutely eaten alive. They said here, in view of the obstacles that the US embargo creates for national bank system to deposit around abroad the US dollar that are collected in the country, a decision was made to temporarily suspend deposits in US banknotes in Cuba's bank and financial system, the Central Bank of Cuba members said. Bitcoin next for Cuba. More pump. Right, more good news for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's taproot upgrade gets its 90% mandate. Now, if you don't know, Bitcoin's code and development, you can't just add to it. There's no company, there's no central organization that controls the code for Bitcoin. There are obviously developers for it, but for them to add code to the Bitcoin core to make it real, they need consensus and consensus from the miners. So actually they say it's more hard getting the consensus than it is actually writing the code. So that's why it takes a lot of time to develop it. However, the taproot upgrade is one of the most significant improvements to Bitcoin's protocol in years, and now has enough mining to lock in activation. And Taproot is basically going to outfit Bitcoin with a new signature scheme known as Schnorr signatures. And it's going to replace the current one, which is called elliptic curve digital signature algorithm. That's going to give a multitude of upgrades and availability. Now, obviously, developers are going to need to take advantage of that once it goes live, I think in a few weeks' time. And it will enable basically privacy improvements, overall improvements in performance, multi-signature technology, privacy software, and possibly even scaling tech like the Lightning Network to be added into the core and be taken advantage of. So that's great news as well for Bitcoin. That might be helping a lot of the price action at the moment. Okay, and finally, DeFi tokens. Now, normally, DeFi tokens don't always follow the price of Bitcoin, but what's happened recently is that Aave, Uniswap, and Compound have been riding along with the price of Bitcoin. Now, they're not obviously totally decoupled, but if you look at the prices of a lot of the DeFi tokens, they've kind of got in their world of their own. There's a lot of stuff that drives that. There's a lot of things that drive them that's very different to Bitcoin. As a whole, when Bitcoin goes up, most of the market goes up, but you don't see like the acceleration of certain coins. They kind of come on their own. But at the moment, Uniswap, Aave, and Comp are being affected a lot by the recent pump of Bitcoin. So what's happening here? Is this good news? Is this bad news? Obviously, Aave is currently the fourth largest DeFi asset, and it's got a huge amount of TVR, over $13 billion, which is just crazy amounts of money. DeFi really is a phenomenon. It's just unbelievable, really, what's happening. And there's several other DeFi tokens, including Chainlink and Thorchain, that are also faring well. So are we at the end of the bear market, or the mini bear market, or did the bull market never end? I don't know. We've got to find out, and that's what we're going to see over the next few weeks. Okay, thank you very much for watching today's episode of Crypto Update. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, I've got that competition down below. You can win 0.1 BNB. There's 10 winners every week. I already said the code word is at the beginning of the video, so make sure you go back and check it. It gives you more chances to win if you put that in. Make sure you like the video if you did like the content, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. It helps me grow the channel and supports what I'm doing here. Okay, done that, great. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Crypto Money Life.